Hello there and welcome to the second CMF series, the collectible minifigure series for Star Wars. And since I made the last video, which went out last week, I'll leave that linked in the description for you if you didn't see it. We went over basically the Battle of Hoth CMF for Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I have got together 12 minifigures that I think represent the rest of the movie, because Hoth is only the first half, and I've also switched up what these CMFs are going to be for. Originally, this was just a chance to upgrade my minifigures to the collectible minifigure standard. We took a look at Leia with her gilet accessory and also add in dual molded legs to a lot of my minifigures through decals, painting and various other techniques. But I've decided that each of these CMFs per movie, we'll get onto that in a second, will be added to my Star Wars minifigure display so that I have enough space to accurately represent each movie, show, and dependent how many minifigures I have for each media will depend on how packed my Star Wars display is, but especially for the Skywalker Saga and perhaps even Clone Wars, Rogue, and Solo, I would like to have a chunk on my display that looks something like this. It's comprised of like 25 of these custom 3D printed displays, which can each house 14 minifigures, but technically they do overlap with the next plate. So we could comfortably fit 12 here and allow for some larger minifigures on the display. But before we decide on our final 12 for Empire, let's take a look at Series 2. First up, the minifigure that we did miss from the last CMF is this UCS General Veers here, which came in the UCS 8080, and you can tell because of those dual molded legs on the bottom. Thankfully, we won't be painting or decaling any boots on this figure because the legs are a piece made available quite readily by Lego, especially for those of you that live near a Lego store. You can pick these up on the Build a Minifigure in-store, where I think they cost just over £1 on the website. Veers does have a dual-sided face, one with a much happier expression that we won't be using for this minifigure, but I guess all minifigures in a CMF Star Wars line would end up with a second face. And now we're crash landing on Dagobah. Luke already has his X-Wing gear in Series 1, which was the video we did last week, but this minifigure is improved from the last time we saw this in a diorama. After seeing this in a playset, although there are I think they use the same minifigures, I have given Luke some tan legs with brown boots, which came in an affordable CMF. I can't remember what minifigure this came with, but they've got the pockets on either side, just like the pockets on the trousers of Luke's regular legs, this time with that dual molded boot that is a must for a Star Wars CMF. And honestly, I think we should be getting boots, maybe not this detailed. You can see we've got some knots on the front of the shoes there, and the pockets, I don't mind about those. Maybe even the pockets on the side could be removed, but just getting dual molded boots in a Star Wars set has got to be the bare minimum going forward given the new prices. And alongside Luke, we're going to throw in R2-D2 with those dirt stains that again we see in the playset and the diorama, though I think it's only the diorama that has the dual printing front and back. Completing our trio of Dagobah minifigures, we have Yoda here, this is again, I want to say this is the playset minifigure. This might be even a little older than that. Pretty sure it's the playset given the little markings and updates on the torso. Might even be the same one in the diorama because there's not much Lego can do to Yoda. I would wonder if Lego in a CMF, we're thinking idealistically here, would print on some green for Yoda's toes, but I definitely don't think they're dual molding the legs anytime soon. And now we're arriving to Bespin, greeted by, this isn't Lando. In fact, this is my custom of Lando, which I have grown accustomed to over the years. I've switched up the legs because it turns out Lando is wearing like dark blue jeans, dark blue trousers in Empire Strikes Back, and the boots are so small that Lego just wouldn't account for anything down there. Maybe a few pockets again printed on the side, and the torso could definitely be more accurate to Lando. I mean, the head does not have a moustache. That is the one thing that annoys me about this minifigure, but I will be improving it soon once I have the pieces to do so. And again, the hair piece is one they've used for every iteration of Lando, but there's got to be a better piece out there. So far we haven't done much in way of customize the figures. I think we got a load of those out in the first series of figs, especially where the boots and door molded legs were concerned. This Boba Fett is the one from the mech, and as you can see, we've got that material piece, which I have nabbed from one of my older Boba Fetts, which should have come in the mech. Definitely didn't get in the way of any sort of play features with that build, but it's got to be included in the CMF. A simple upgrade, but definitely effective. Whilst on Cloud City in Bespin, Han and Leia are taken prisoner by the Empire, not just Lando, and similar to the first Han minifigure we had in the blue jacket, now Han's not got his blue jacket and the shirt is kind of roughed up a little bit from the troopers manhandling him, and this is after being interviewed by Darth Vader. Well, I say interviewed, there's actually not many questions, if any, being asked. But to go alongside Han Solo, we also have our Leia, which featured in season 1. But this time, Leia doesn't have her tan gilet on. You can see it's definitely white printing. There's not really much tanness going on the camera. So this is the white bodysuit that goes underneath the gilet. I guess it's still got the printing of the gilet. Preferably would get a new torso without it. But because we are running low on space for these Empire Strikes Back minifigures, I'm going to include this with the gilet over the top as one minifigure. And then showing up to save the day, we also have our Luke Skywalker with that bruised face. This is the one from the Bespin Duel diorama that then showed up in a poly bag over here in the UK. And if you are overseas in America, check out my recent magazine video where you'll find out how you can get these poly bags without having to wait for them to pop up elsewhere. Exactly the same as the jacketless Luke, we have the same boots, the same element applied to this Bespin Luke minifigure. I think it goes without saying, this was the perfect choice. And then our third entry for Chewbacca in this CMF combo of series, we have this version that has a C-3PO in pieces on the back. I guess it doesn't quite like the turntable here. It doesn't sit perfectly flat, but C-3PO is held on with an official Lego netting. This time it is a fully official Lego net. And I've just wrapped it around Chewie's arms there at the front, which are printed like the other two versions. And the minifigure is exactly the same as Series 1. To round off this series, we have our robed Luke from right at the end after he's been rescued on the medical frigate. We have Luke, Leia, R2, 3PO. R2 and 3PO have already been included in Series 1, so I wasn't going to let them take up another minifigure slot in Series 2. And Luke here uses Anakin's torso, which I suppose I should get rid of the belt and maybe the necklace, but I don't think it looks too bad for a custom minifigure. And to accompany Luke Skywalker, we also have Leia, who I will also not be adding on the display because Leia is wearing the exact same outfit as A New Hope. I guess there's not too many they've got spare running around with the rest of the rebellion. But now we've got to decide the 12 minifigures that make the cut. I think there's only one way we can go about this, and that is if we include 6 minifigures from Series 1 and 6 minifigures from Series 2. Take a look at that. We have 6 out of 12 minifigures already for our giant Lego Star Wars display. We've already got rid of Leia. Han kind of fits in Return of the Jedi. Oh, but I guess that means we'll have to grab our Han from last video. R2-D2 also fits on a different display. The Leia at the end of the video we'll put aside because that goes on New Hope. The Luke I'm going to keep around, but not as Luke. Yoda has to go on this display. Yoda is a big part of Empire Strikes Back, and that goes for, I think, both of the Luke Skywalkers. There we go. We've split up both Luke Skywalkers with the Yoda minifigure in between. We've got Luke, 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 Luke. I really want to put this Chewbacca on the display, but besides the fact it doesn't fit, maybe 3PO can be like an honorary part of the display. And I'm going to go with Boba Fett and Lando, which leaves General Viz. Viz can just go with the rest of my Imperials on my display just up here. And that gives us our 12 minifigures to go onto the minifigure display. I'm not going to show it off. It's looking empty right now, but hopefully by the end of this series, once we've gone through all the movies and all the different special collections, like the Christmas sweaters for instance, we will be able to complete our display. And I must say, this is a very strong lineup from Empire Strikes Back. But now we've got our 12 minifigures from Empire Strikes Back, I think it's only right we go back and do A New Hope next. We already know one of our minifigures in Princess Leia of Alderaan, but stay tuned to see the other 11 coming very soon, and until then, may the bricks be with you, always.